The book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 23. And our King, our Redeemer, Yahweh Shai said to the apostles, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And nobody have to tell you that the children of Satan are the one ruling the current world. Like the Lord says in the book of Job 9:24, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The word wicked, you break it down in the Hebrew, is rasha, meaning what? Criminals. And Satan work, Satan have children. Yes, the children of Esau, Edom, they come in the spirit of Satan. That is why they constantly sacrificing your children. They constantly drinking the children, the blood of the children. They constantly eating human flesh. That's right. That's the nature. The nature of these people. Job said that he wouldn't even put his dog. He wouldn't allow them to watch over his dog. These are the times that we are living in because we are at the end. We are at the end of this man's kingdom. And you're going to watch this clip here. It's a 10 minutes clip, Yahweh Ratazar. That's right. It's about what? What is it called? Her name again? Bondi. Pam Bondi testifying before Congress about the file. Oh yes, family. This is a circus. The Lord have made Esau bare. He have uncovered all his secret places. He can't hide himself anymore. The whole world is seeing it. Because what? We are at the end of this wicked empire. But before the Lord brings this judgment upon Esau, the Lord have to expose all the wickedness that these people have been doing across the entire world. The top elite, the so-called Illuminatis, the people that's right ruling over you today. These are the things that they are involved in. And family, let's get into it. But first and foremost, let's give honor and glory to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Kohala Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. We give double honors to our head apostles, the elders, the bishops out of the great millstone that taught us this truth, and salutations. Peace to my fellow laborers out there, making their body a living sacrifice and by feeding the sheep daily and exalting the name of our King, our Redeemer, Yahweh Shai, the captain of our salvation. And Yahweh Shai is coming. The King is coming. Because family, we are at the end. Oh, if you can see it, pray that the Lord will open your eyes. We are at the end of this man's kingdom. Again, if I didn't say shalom to the household of faith, let's get right into it. But before we do it, let's go to Job chapter 15 and let's start from verse 5. It said, for thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, their own mouth. That's right, their own mouth. It said, the Lord says in Psalm 64, their own tongue is going to fall on themselves. Hear what the Lord says. It says what? For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Hear what the Lord says. Thine own mouth condemneth thee. Thine own mouth condemneth thee. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee. And that's what you are about to witness. You are about to see Esau Edom. His own tongue is going to fall on himself. Let's read this in the NLT. He says here, your own mouth condemns you. The whole world is seeing the end of Babylon the Great, America. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, is going to speak. And family, this tells us that what? We are at the end. We are at the end because this is just a big circus. The family, they can't hide anymore. When Putin told us, I think was it 2 years ago, a year ago, when he said this elite, all they're doing is they're drinking children's blood and eating human flesh, they thought he was crazy. When Putin made that statement, they thought he was crazy. But now everything is coming to light. Now you know why the Lord is going to raise up the Russians to destroy America. He said, your own mouth condemns you, not I. Your own lips testify against you. Let's get into this testimony before Congress. Family, sit tight and watch this thing here. Let's go. And when it's all said and done, family, I pray that this message, you will edify. This message find all of you in perfect peace as we prepare for our King, our Redeemer, Yahushua. And this is what the prophets are going to be. What? That's why testifying. We are testifying against what? The wicked. Because judgment has come. You can't just grab somebody off the street and family and then put judgment on them. No, you have to present the evidence. You have to prove why are they guilty. You have to prove it. Why are they guilty? Why are you telling me to give this guy 100 years? No, give me the reason. What did he do? And that's the court of law. That's what we are doing right now. Esau is before what? The judge. And we are what? Testifying against Esau, Edom, self-proclaimed white men. The scriptures are destroying him. Because that's why we are at the end. The Lord said that's when the wicked shall be revealed. Let's get that precept. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let's go here. Chapter 2. Man of lawlessness. Straight to the point. And then shall that wicked be revealed. How is he being revealed? Through the mouth of the what? The prophets. Starting with our head apostles all the way down. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Who are the spirit of the Lord's mouth? That's the prophets, because Yahweh is the one speaking through us. You hear that? We are the mouthpiece of the Lord. And he says here, whom the Lord Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. He's the one bringing the fire and all those glorious chariots to destroy this place. Let's go.
Attorney General Pam Bondi has appeared before the House Judiciary Committee. Now, she did spend most of her time defending the Trump administration over alleged connections with the Epstein files and claims of a cover-up. And while she seemed to acknowledge her investigation has led to 0 indictments or arrests, the discussions became very heated, with both sides essentially attacking each other.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the way I
ridiculous.
asked it.
The witness gets to answer. You may not like the answer, but she gets to
The
answer.
question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like the answer, Chairman.
Reclaiming my time.
Because it's honest.
Reclaiming-
So he asked a
Reclaiming my
4-minute
time.
question.
Restore 45
and
seconds,
I am
Mr. Nadler,
going
please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
Answer.
I mean, you can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
Reclaiming-
Not on our time. No way.
Reclaiming-
And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, oh, I
anything,
did tell you because we
washed
saw
up
what you did in the Senate.
loser lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will... The answer to my question, how many of Epstein's co-conspirators has she indicted, is 0.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. The documents have been released, 3 million. The redacted versions, we left them open for all of you to come view. Have you? I believe you view them. If not, will you have some copies?
I'd like to.
But could I finish, please? I'm not being rude. Please.
I only have 5 minutes.
No, yeah, and I only have 30 seconds based on your filibuster.
But you didn't.
The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
You got into office, Attorney General, claimed to have a client list, only
Regular
to
order.
then say that there was no list. Your deputy,
Time-
Todd
time of
Blanche,
the-
met alone
time of the
with
gentlelady
Ghislaine
has-
Maxwell
time of the
and
gentlelady has
transferred her
expired.
to a minimum security prison. And now you continue
The
the
time of the
cover-up. And
gentlelady
I
has
wish
expired.
that you would turn around to the survivors who are standing right behind you and on a human level,
Chairman,
apologize
Chair now
to
recognizes the
them.
chair.
And what you have done. I
Gentlelady's
yield
expired.
back.
The gentlelady, you have no time to yield back.
Theatrics.
We appreciate the thought.
Bondi said she was not interested in gutter theatrics, but as the events proceeded, it got rather heated. Now, Pam Bondi compared the hearings to a circus and had many dramatic exchanges with members of Congress. At one point, she accused them of having Trump derangement syndrome. This is one exchange she had with Representative Raskin.
Do you even know who Chase Mulligan is? You're so obsessed with you don't. Do
I'm
you?
going to teach you the rules again. You're the Attorney General of the United States. We have rules here.
You're obsessed with him.
You're the Attorney General of the United States.
With
And the rules.
Obsessed with Donald Trump. You have Trump derangement syndrome.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like my time restored. I'd like my time restored.
In your district. In your district, and you don't even know about it, about keeping children safe from online predators. I find it interesting that she keeps going after President Trump, the greatest president in American history. And if they could maintain their composure, this isn't a circus, this is a hearing. He called Chase Mulligan a wild goose chase and didn't even know who he was. He is a defendant in your own district who preyed on girls.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, you know what? If he were part of the Epstein investigation, you wouldn't do anything about it.
Online chat rooms and committed sextortion. Yet he didn't even know in your tiny little district.
Largely, it was a very, very heated day on Capitol Hill. A lot of heated exchanges, talk of anti-Semitism, talk of sex trafficking, talk of covering up for criminals, talk of partisanship on the part of federal law enforcement and the Department of Justice, heated words exchanged between Republicans and Democrats, a lot of division in our nation's capital reflected in the aftermath of the Epstein revelations.
Well, earlier we spoke with the former director of Intergovernmental Affairs for U.S. Trade, Steve Gill, and he says the heated hearing in D.C. was deliberately riled up by the Democrats.
I think Pam Bondi is obviously frustrated with the continued distractions that the Democrats in the hearing room continue to throw up. They have lied and misrepresented the truth about the Epstein files for a long time. They're the ones that are being hurt more by the release of these Epstein files, the more Democrats and donors that have been revealed to have had very close relationships and contacts with Epstein that they have lied about. And I think that even though Pam Bondi was obviously frustrated with the Democrats on the panel, a lot of conservatives are still frustrated that other than Epstein himself, who died, other than Ghislaine Maxwell, his lieutenant who is in jail, nobody else has been prosecuted for the abuse of women, the sexual trafficking of women. And I think people are frustrated that while Pam Bondi is very combative, she has still not prosecuted any of the people who actually took advantage of these young women.
Now, the bombshell Epstein files mentioned Donald Trump's name, as Pam Bondi puts it, countless times. But more than that, the documents cast a long shadow on Trump's entourage, including high-ranking officials very close to the U.S. president. Let's break it all down with RT's Shay Bowes.
So, as the Epstein files earthquake rumbles on, and after looking at how involved the Rothschilds, the British royal family, and the Democrats were, it's only fair to take a look at the friends and employees of the Trump administration, who now also have some very uncomfortable questions to answer. Let's start with Trump's Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick. It turns out the billionaire visited Epstein's island with his family in 2012, completely contradicting his previous claims that he'd cut ties with the convicted pedophile years before.
When you visited the private island, did you see anything inappropriate during that visit?
The only thing I saw with my wife and my children and the other couple and their children was staff who worked for Mr. Epstein on that island.
There are now growing calls for Lutnick to resign over his ties to Epstein. And that's hardly surprising, given his self-contradicting recollection of his friendship with his fellow high-flying financier.
Now, my wife is standing here. So she looks at me, and I look at her, and we say, I'm sorry. We have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Howard Lutnick returned your call. Howard Lutnick will come see you at 5 p.m. on Sunday, May 1st. Alarm, 5 p.m. drinks with Howard Lutnick.
Now, even Howard Lutnick's wife got involved, emailing Epstein about the logistics of a fun family day out on the pedophiles' island.
Hi, this is Allison Lutnick. We are looking forward to visiting you. We will be coming from Keneal Bay in the morning. We are a crowd, 2 families each with 4 kids ranging in age from 7-16, 6 boys and 2 girls. I hope that's okay. We would love to join you for lunch. Please advise on timing and exactly where our boat should go.
And it doesn't end there. Lutnick and Epstein also did business together. In 2012, they both bought stakes in a company called Adfin. Now let's move on to arguably even a bigger fish, Elon Musk. Elon denies he ever went to the island, and that is indeed true. But emails in 2012 and 2013 definitely showed discussions about Musk potentially visiting. Elon even made it clear he was looking for the wildest party.
Probably just Tallulah and me. What day or night will be the wildest party on your island? Do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of sanity this year, and so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose.
Will you come to Caribbean this Christmas? Woody Allen with me, you might enjoy.
Yes.
Then there's the former White House advisor and Trump's chief strategist, Steve Bannon. It seems the former darling of the MAGA movement exchanged hundreds of friendly texts with the convicted pedophile, even as late as 2019. That's right up to Epstein's arrest. Bannon even filmed a documentary about his friend, Jeffrey.
So they're not going to hear me on this part, right? We'll do it both ways?
It will not be on the video, but we do have you recorded.
Fine. Remember, when you're answering on these questions, I'm not in the shot, and they're never going to hear my voice. So a little bit, you got to repeat in your answer, you got to repeat what my question was.
Now, other prominent Trump allies like Navy Secretary and Trump fundraiser John Phelan also feature. He's shown on a flight log with Epstein in 2006, but claims that that was his only interaction with him. Then there's the U.S. ambassador to Turkey and Syria, Tom Barak, who is also Donald Trump's longtime friend and mega fundraiser. Jeffrey Epstein even asked him about his love life.
I'm still in search of architecture firm for my new island. Thoughts? I'm in Paris. Back in New York later in month. How's love life?
So, as the Epstein files continue to throw out revelation after revelation, it's worth noting that the Trump administration did, in fairness, release them. But the question that many are asking is what didn't make the cut? What?
Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns. This beast is what? America. 2 horns represent the 2-party system. Okay, the Democrat, the Republican. You see how in the during the testimony they were going back and forth. Family, they are all in on it. There's no difference between the left and the right. They are all defiled. They are all drinking blood. They are all eating human flesh. That's right. That's Esau's nature. There's no difference between the Democrat and the Republican. This is what the Lord is telling you. It says here, and I beheld, and what? Another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had what? 2 horns like a lamb. 2 horns like what? A lamb. And he spoke as what? A dragon. Roman Empire. The revive. Rome. He spoke like what? Rome. Look at the infrastructures across America. The 2-party system. And the Roman, back then they had what? The plebeian and the patrician. Today we have the Democrat and Republican. The gladiator games. And today we have what? Martial arts. We have boxing. We have what is it called? Football. These are all stemming from Rome. The Lord says there's no new thing under the sun. But hear what it says in verse 12. And what? And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast. Goes back to Rome. Let's look up the word exerciseth. Right? The Greek word is what? Exercises, meaning what? You are doing the same thing you used to do before. Let's get it. Exercise. What does it say? Come on.
Strong's G 4160. Poieo.
Poieo, right?
Poieo.
It says to make, produce, construct, fashion. Okay? Fashion. Isn't America fashion just like ancient Rome Empire? Roman Empire? That's right. To make ready, to prepare, to carry out, to execute. to perform, to promise. There's something else I'm looking for. Or AO, where's the root word? Okay, yeah. So that's right. So America is doing the same thing ancient Rome was doing. Again, let's go here. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. We are back in Rome. Back in Rome, the same thing was happening. All those controversies, and or back to the what is it called? The Roman? What is it called? Them again? Come on. Let's go. The Caesars. That's right. The Caesars. August. They were all into little boys. That's right. Little boys. That's the biggest thing. But here they're putting these little girls in front of you. Family, we know there are certain things. They're not going to show us everything. But we know that these men are into boys. Okay, they are into little boys. Look at the Catholic Church. Okay, look at the Catholic Church. Have you seen anybody going to jail? No. And he exercised it. Let me read this in the NLT. NLT, what does it says? NLT, let's get NLT. It says here, he exercises all the authority of the first beast, and he requires all the earth and its people to worship the first beast. Freedom of speech, democracy, all these things, family. It all came from what? It started with the Greco-Roman Empire. We started from Greek and then went to Rome. And then guess what? We are back in Rome again. The Western Roman Empire. We are back here again, doing the same thing. Remember we said the Lord says what? History merely repeats itself. He exercises all the authority of the first beast, and why? He requires all the earth and its people to worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. Rome came back into in the 1400s, called the Renaissance, starting with the Spanish, the French, the British. Out of the British came America, because that's why the wound was healed. When Rome fell, that's why for what? A whole 1,000 years, right? And then the Byzantine Empire took over. They call it the Dark Ages. That's when Jake ruled across Europe. And then what? The prophecy had to be fulfilled. So that little season, that's the time we are, Revelation chapter 20, the little season, we are in that little season. The Lord said Rome has to be what? Reborn. The deadly wound has to be healed. The deadly wound meaning what? Rome fell, but Rome has to come back into power again. Revelation chapter 20. It says here, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit. That goes back to what? Europe. Because pit represents what? A land. You can get that in the book of 2 Ezra chapter 5 verse 24. And a great chain in his hand. A chain. That's why, who's that? That's Yahweh putting back what? Putting Rome back at the bottom. Esau back at the bottom. But Esau have to come back again. Let's read on. And he laid a hold on the dragon. Yeah? That old serpent, which is the devil. Devil simply means what? Slanderer. And Satan means what? The adversary. And bound him 1,000 years. That's between 476 AD to 1400. That's roughly 1,000 years. That's when Rome fell. But Rome has to come back. Okay, hear what it says. Verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, that's Europe, shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. So from 476 AD to what? 1400, that is 1,000 years. That's when they started coming back into power, in the Renaissance. Okay, and after that, he must be loose a little season. That's the time that we are living in, the little season. Verse 7 says, and when that 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loose out of his prison. Rome came back into power in the 1400s, and they've been in power ever since. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. That's what they've been doing. They gave you sweet baby Jesus. They gave you their image to worship. And then right after that, after all this wickedness that they are doing come to light, then we are heading to what? Gog and Magog. The last war, World War III. Now we are in that little season. Now their time is up. You hear that, family? Revelation 20 verse 8. And it shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. That's where we are heading to. So family, like I said, I don't want this thing to be too long. I want to hit something else. So here, Epstein, listen to this. Epstein ordered what? Epstein ordered what? Listen to this, family. What in the world was Jeffrey Epstein doing on the private island that he owned? As I discussed yesterday, the latest batch of Epstein documents has raised a lot of very alarming questions. In this article, I want to focus on the particular document from 2018. It is a wire transfer request form that is dated June 12th. That shows that 55 gallon drums of sulfuric acid were purchased for Epstein private island. Interestingly, June 12th was also the exact day when the FBI began investigating Epstein's sex trafficking operation. In case you don't know what sulfuric acid is, family, is to what? To dissolve bodies. Yeah. To dissolve bodies. Family, when we tell you, the Lord says here, he have what? Made Esau bad. And Esau, self-proclaimed white man. What is Jeremiah 49? Give me Jeremiah 49. And Jeremiah 49, verse 10. It said, but I have made Esau, the self-proclaimed white man, bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. And the Lord says what? You're not going to be able to hide yourself anymore. Because this is judgment. That's why the prophets are around the clock. The Lord said, give him no rest until he make Jerusalem a praise upon this earth. So the prophets are not going to be quiet. They're going to be hammering you with the word of the Lord. Because the whole world need to know that you are the wicked. You are the children of Satan that the Lord is coming to remove. Satan simply means the adversary. Adversary means what? You are adverse to everything the Lord stands for. The Lord said, let's protect children. These guys are saying, no, let's eat them up. Let's eat them up. Let's drink their blood and sacrifice them. That's Esau, Edom, self-proclaimed white man. The Lord says, whatever the Lord says we should do, they do the opposite. So they are the children of Satan. Okay? It says here, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is poor, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. That's Obadiah 1:18 eventually. It's going to kick in. Because from here, they're all going into captivity in the kingdom. Everybody's going to be in the kingdom as slaves for a whole 1,000 years. But the nation of Esau, the Edomite, they are the only nation that after that 1,000 years, they are not going to enjoy the kingdom. They are all going to be gathered up and burned up. Because why? They are against nature. The Lord doesn't want these people near children. Because now, the Lord don't want these people around. The Lord don't want these people around. Now here, American patriots are hunting down Epstein co-conspirators, Les Wessner. There's a storm coming. Yeah, everybody's right. It says here in the book of Job. Let's see. It's in Job 5. Let's get that. It says, all the hand of the wicked shall be upon him. I think it's Job chapter 20. Let's get it. Because, people are going to rise up against the elite. All we have to do is just sit back and watch it. And watch the show. Trust in the Lord. Because the Lord is bringing judgment upon this devil. What is Job? Job chapter 20. Is it 5? I think it's Job 5. Job 20, verse 22. Let me see. Is it verse 22? Here, Job chapter 20, verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Straits mean what? Difficulties. When you are you think you're going to fulfill your new world order, the Lord says what? You're going to be in difficulties. And it says every hand of the wicked. That the wicked, this particular word wicked, and we're going to look it up. It's not the same wicked in Job 9:24. Okay, this one goes into the workers. Amal, okay? You hear that? Amal.
Strong's H 6001. A male.
You know what it goes into? Workers. Let's look it up. You see that laborers, sufferer, the wretched one, laborers, workmen. So even his own people are coming after him. They are coming after who? The top elite. American citizens are actively tracking down Les Wessner, the Ohio billionaire now publicly linked to Epstein criminal network. And the lawyers, enablers, and politicians they allege help him evade justice. That's what is coming. The Lord says what? They're going to come after what? The elite. This is going to bring civil war is coming, family. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straight. Every hand of the wicked goes into what? The laborers shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. Talking about his new world order. It's not going to come to fruition. Having everybody microchip. The Lord says, as he's about to do that, that's why missiles are going to rain on America. It said, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Yet that the Lord says, what? There's no place to hide. You read the book of, what is it called? I think Job 15. That's right. It said the sound of, I'm going to get that too. But let's read on here. It said, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heaven, that's what the heaven is doing right now. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The whole world is rising up against these devils. Because nobody wants Esau around. Nobody wants these people around their children. Nobody, man. It said the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. He says what? The increase of his house, your riches, your gold, your silver, the Lord says what? Shall depart. Read the book of James chapter 5. Okay, that is dedicated to the rich folks. And his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. His goods shall flow. Let's read. I've never read this in the NLT. Let's get it in the NLT. And it says a flood will sweep away their house. The Most High's anger will descend on him in torrent. Okay, let's go. House, meanwhile, your riches are about to be done away with. It says here, this is the portion of a wicked man. That word wicked goes into what? Let's look it up again. The word wicked, I know this is what? This is a Rasha, right? This is Rasha. There you go. Rasha, which goes into what? Criminal. These are the wicked goes to what? Criminal. H, and this wicked goes H7563. Then, like the one we read in Job 20, verse 22, that goes into what? The workers. But this particular wicked goes into what? Isaac goes into what? Criminal. Job 9:24. He said the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Esau, Edom. Malachi 1:4. The border of wickedness. So here what it says, wicked, criminal, guilty one guilty of crime. Yeah, the Lord is the one bringing the punishment. These are the children of Satan that the Lord is coming to remove off the face of the earth. Yeah, Esau, you are caught. Sit in the corner. That's why your own women are even coming up against you. That's why in the kingdom, they're not going to even look at you. They're going to be looking at the Israelite men. Because now we are on top. That's what is coming. Everybody, all these women, guess who? They're going to be flocking to the Israelite men. Because why? That's right. We are back on top. Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Esau, you are finished. You are done. Done. Okay, it says here, this is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by what? By the power of heaven. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's what is happening. Family, that's what we are witnessing. So yeah, he's done. Look at what Russia is doing. Russia, WhatsApp block in Russia. Russia platform marks and replaces it because they don't trust the West anymore. The popular messaging app WhatsApp, owned by Meta platform, another, that's right. They all children, blood drinkers, and flesh eating. That's right. They're all into it. Even Zuckerberg, his name is on the list. They love going to the island. It says here, the popular messaging app WhatsApp, owned by Meta platform, has been blocked in Russia for non-compliance with Russian law. The Kremlin said today, urging citizens to switch to a state-backed national messaging app instead. Yeah, everybody cutting ties with the West. And now here, Russia is going to try to help Cuba because we know the devil, Esau, Edom, America have put embargo on what? Oil going into Cuba. Cuba is already poor, family. Manasseh is already poor. You see, but Russia is trying to help the Cubans out. Okay, Russia preparing oil lifeline to Cuba. And it says the move comes as the U.S. seeks to cut off the island from energy supplies. You see what we are doing, brothers? You see, that's why the whole world, let's read it here. That's why the Lord is putting together an assembly. Family, we can't thank the Lord enough for what he's about to do for us. Hear what the Lord says, assembly of great nations. I love this precept because it's coming against who? America. Lo, Jeremiah 50 verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against America, Babylon, an assembly of great nations. Yeah, assembly of great nations. I know North Korea is going to join in. China is going to join in. The whole global south is going to join in. To assist Russia to destroy America. He says here, because why? That's what the Lord says. That is what the Lord says. Do you know how long Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader in North Korea, have been dying to shoot missiles on America, and he's going to get that opportunity. He said, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. This is what is coming to America. The missiles are going to be shot in America. That time is fast approaching. Russia is preparing to send a shipment of oil and petroleum products to Cuba. Moscow embassy in Havana has announced the island is facing its worst energy crisis in years after the U.S. doubled down on its campaign to cut off its energy supply. Yeah, these people are the children of Satan. America, Babylon, America, they are the children of Satan. Look at this now. It's a scientist warned drinking milk is inherently, whatever. Yeah, Epstein files exposed Ellen DeGeneres as Hollywood's most prolific cannibal. Family, these people are there. Hollywood icon confirmed A-list stars connected to Epstein are eating babies. Molech worship. Yeah, you can't make this up. I'll go name in Epstein bombshell. Family, what do you see? What's the common denominator here? Esau. Look at pale skin, blue eye, blonde hair. Pale skin, blue eye, blonde hair. That's it. That's why. The cancer of the earth. The cancer of the earth, man. The cancer of the... It's a royal security at Epstein Mansion. It's a royal security was overseen by King Charles. Yet a high-ranking member of the British monarch inner circle has been drawn into the Jeffrey Epstein scandal according to the newly released file. King Charles' aide is believed to have overseen royal protection at... Wow. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Because, hey, there are children to be sacrificed, children to be cooked. That's right. That's Esau, Edom. Family, we are the end. That's why everything is being brought to light. The Lord says here, let's get it. Let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 8, right? Luke 8:17. Is it Luke 8:17 or 18? Luke 8:17. Yeah. It said, for nothing is secret. Hear that? Luke 8:17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. Neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. You can't make this up. We are the end. Family, I'm going to leave it there. I pray that this message find all of you in perfect peace. Stay prayed up. Family, you know we are the end. This is the end. It can't get any worse. It's going to get worse in terms of the tribulation and stuff. But family, the elite are being exposed. We are at the end. World War III is coming. So now that they've been exposed, guess what? They are taking everybody to World War III. But they don't know that this is the war that ends everybody's kingdom. And we say, Barakata Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash Tawada, for the inspiration directly from our King, our Redeemer Yahushai, for inspiring us every single day to do this work. And Shalom.